Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my continuing series of my Fangoria Volume 1 issues collection series. And this is episode number 28. And this is issue number 28 of Fangoria. Um, so let's get right into it. So we start off A Fit of Fear, Spasms. We got the Screen Grades, Pull-Out Posters number 3, Friday 13th Part 2. That's a new thing they added. Um, in the film strip, we got Makeup Effects Horror of Carl Fullerton. They're here, The Deadly Spawn, and Ghostly Gore Master John Beekler. So let's look at the poster first of all. So it's like a fold out. That's pretty cool. Cool scene from the film. And then obviously the bottom part is on the back page there. I mentioned in the last issue, it's kind of sucked back then that you would basically ruin the magazine, rip it out in order to put on the wall, kind of thing. But posters were a big thing when I was growing up. I had lots of posters on the wall, and I guess they didn't think much about the actual collecting aspect of the magazine. They probably thought, oh, it's not something that would be collected. Go figure. So many years later, but anyway, that's a pretty cool feature they had there. Let's get into the index here. So we got the standard index here. So this was released in July of 1983. And we got the editor, Uncle Bob. It's pretty funny. The Postal Zone, my favorite, and a lot of people's favorite part of the magazine. It was really cool back then, just to kind of go back and read what the thinking was back then, and because this was really, the only source. Now it's laughable how you have the internet and so many sources to be able to find anything and everything. But back then, you basically had Fangoria. Um, and sometimes you'd kind of rely on what people were asking here to kind of answer your questions at a lot of times. So it's kind of interesting just to go back and see how very limited um, media actually was and communication was back then. If you're a horror fan, this was your only outlet, sort of thing. So it's quite amazing. You just can't wrap your head around how it used to be. Especially the younger generation. Now, not to dump on them, but they have everything at their fingertips right from a young age. Where us who are a little bit older, uh, you know, didn't have that, and we kind of grew up in both kind of worlds. It's kind of amazing how things are now compared to how they used to be. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, as we start, concerned collectors. I'm just one of the Minion and Fangoria fans, and like my fellow bloodsuckers, I know that it's a royal pain to buy all issues at the newsstand. It seems the only remedy is to get a subscription. But like others out there, I happen to like to keep my issues in mint condition. Good for him. The only thing that kept me from purchasing a subscription is that I don't know if my 13.98 for a whole year. Wow, would just pay for now. That's like not even one. Or just pay for issues of mailing labels stuck right on them. Yeah, that's always been an issue when you had these magazines where you'd have like sometimes there'd be like stickers and stuff like that. Fortunately, a lot of the ones I have don't have it, but it was a known issue. So um, yeah, the response, yeah, basically they can't really guarantee it. Not surprised there. Um, Interesting thing there, but and I like how they expanded the postal zone and it went because I guess they had so many questions that they had to actually do it. Attention, George Romero. I'm writing with your help. I need to contact George Romero in order to tell him about the ideal location for his next zombie movie, the world's largest shopping mall in Schaumburg. Interesting. This one didn't have responses, which is quite interesting. Some did actually. So I guess they picked and choose who to respond to. Kudos for author Savini. We talked about that in the last. He released a book at that time. Grand Illusions. Impressed. Yeah, yeah. I have to look into it. I'm sure he's got an interesting story of his coming up through the in the film industry. Uh, John Beekler, makeup effects artist for Roger Corman and Mausoleum, is planning on doing more and making monsters. There's a feature article here, interview. Some cool behind the scenes stuff. Good stuff. Directing Psycho 2, Australian director Richard Franklin on the challenge of following in Hitchcock's footsteps. Yeah, for sure, it would have been. But you know what? He did an awesome job. This is an amazing movie, probably one of the best sequels of all time, or at least would be definitely up there for sure. Good stuff. Great movie with Meg Tilly and Fangoria Challenge. We saw that last time. William Freud and Spasms. Very cool. Some more behind the scenes. Dick Smith and Spasms. I don't think I've seen Spasms actually. That'd be something to look into and check it out for sure. The Blood Boutique. Yeah, they're selling all kinds of makeup effects products. The incredibly strange Ray Dennis Steckler, who stopped making movies and just long enough to give his crazy mix-up interview. That's funny. Some articles here. The Pin in the Pen of Alex Gordon, History of AIP Part 2. Beast was a percolator. Yeah, we saw that in the Part 1 last issue. There we go. Got the Fangoria record shelf. Really cool. Old Horror, New Horror. An esteemed film historian takes a sharp look at the classic style of horror filmmaking and compares it to screen's new breed of gory terror. Good stuff here. Some more advertising there. The video eye of Dr. Cyclops. Thorn Emmy home video. Classic label. Couple of releases there. Spiral Staircase. Yeah. Astro Zombies. Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, this was pretty cool. Showed releases at the time. A Teenage Werewolf and Monster Marriage. Very cool. On the Set of the Dead Zone, Part 1. Very good stuff. Gotcha, Grand Illusions. The advertising for the book. Pretty cheap, $12.95. Although you could probably find it now used, obviously, for probably the same money. Terrifying Makeup of Carl Fullerton. Talk with Makeup Effects Man for Wolfen. Friday 13 Part 2 and The Hunger. Really cool. There's Jason there. Really good stuff. Cool effects. And some Dawn Post Masquerade. That's really cool. Good stuff. Nightmare Library. I guess books, horror books. Hammer's Veronica. Very nice. I noticed the kind of a off kind of out of left field, but I've noticed that the pages are thicker. The quality of print paper is better than it was initially. I don't know if that's just my imagination or this is something I noticed. Kind of cool. The Effects of the Deadly Spawn. Yeah, Deadly Spawn, fun movie. Great, some great pictures there. Great picture there, and some scenes here. Monster Invasion. What's coming up? Yeah, you always gotta love that. Metal Storm. Yeah. The Incredible Two-Headed Bob. The Return of H.G. Lewis. Halloween video game cartridge. Interesting. Wonder what console is that for? Does it say very quickly? No. What would have been out at the time? Intellivision, ColecoVision, Atari, maybe something like that. I would imagine at that time. Some classified ads as usual, and then things to come. Fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man, known as the Spielberg Zone. John Landis, American Werewolf in London. Stephen King, 83 with Christine and the Dead Zone. Oh yeah, awesome. Subscription to Starlog, and then the back of the bottom part of the magazine, and then Twilight Zone the movie. This summer Enter Another Dimension. Look at that, crazy. I love when they do that. The movie posters at the back there, advertising. All right, guys, that's going to do it for episode number 28, issue number 28, and join me next time, and we'll do it again. Take care.